Let's face it, spiritual awakening sounds like a fairy tale, doesn't it? A magical ride to enlightenment, rainbows, and endless peace. But here's the cold, hard truth. This journey comes with a serious price. Your ego is about to throw the biggest tantrum of its life, and it won't let you off the hook so easily. The path to awakening is not a walk in the park. It's a battlefield where you confront your deepest fears, illusions, and attachments. And yet, the journey is worth every ounce of struggle because, on the other side, lies a freedom and peace that words can't capture. When most people hear about spiritual awakening, they imagine gaining something. More happiness, more clarity, more joy. But the truth is that awakening isn't about gaining anything. It's about losing everything you thought you were. Your ego, which has been your constant companion, your identity, and your protector, starts to feel threatened. The ego is like a guard dog that thrives on familiarity, keeping you within the confines of your comfort zone. But when awakening begins, you start to see through the illusion. You realize you're not your thoughts, your identity, or your story. And that's when the ego starts fighting back. The ego will create resistance like you've never experienced before. It will whisper things like, "You're going crazy. Nobody will understand this. You're better off staying where you are." It will tempt you with old habits, familiar comforts, and fears, all designed to pull you back into your old self. And let's not forget the world around you. The people in your life might not understand what's happening to you. They might say, "You've changed," or "Why don't you just go back to being normal?" This can feel isolating because the awakening journey isn't a group activity. No one can walk this path for you. The breakdown of the ego is the most painful part of the process. It feels like your entire identity is crumbling. You question everything: your beliefs, your purpose, your relationships. This is what's often called the dark night of the soul. It's a period of deep inner turmoil where everything you thought you were falls apart. The ego screams, "Who are you without me? What's left if you let me go?" Facing this level of uncertainty and vulnerability is terrifying. It feels like you're losing yourself, but in reality, you're shedding layers of illusion to uncover your true essence. And yet, the breakdown of the ego is also the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Once the ego stops running the show, you begin to experience a deeper, lasting sense of peace. You realize that who you are isn't tied to your thoughts, achievements, or identity. Who you are is something much bigger, much freer. It's like being a bird that suddenly realizes the cage door has been open all along. You've been trapped, but only because you didn't know you could fly. I know this journey all too well because I've walked it myself and still in it, and it never ends. It's infinite. There was a time when the weight of it all nearly crushed me. I had moments of such deep despair that I questioned whether life was even worth living. Suicidal thoughts crept in like shadows, whispering lies that it would be easier to give up completely than to keep fighting this invisible battle. I felt like I was being pulled apart from the inside, my old self clinging for dear life, while the new awareness demanded I let go. It was as if everything familiar was slipping through my fingers, leaving me stranded in a void of uncertainty. And let me tell you, in those moments, there was no one to save me. No friend, no family, no guru. It was just me, alone, face to face with my inner shadows. The pain was so raw, so visceral, that it felt like my soul was being torn open. My ego threw every trick in the book to hold on to control. Fear, doubt, anger, even brief moments of apathy where I just wanted to quit everything. There were times when I caught glimpses of awakening, moments of clarity and peace so profound that they took my breath away. But just as quickly, the ego would rise back up, louder and more vicious, trying to pull me back into old patterns, old stories. It was an exhausting cycle. Awareness, resistance, collapse, repeat. And this is what it's going to feel like for you too, if you're watching this. You'll have moments where you think you've finally broken through, only to find yourself dragged back into the chaos. You'll feel alone, like no one understands, and you'll have to confront the darkest parts of yourself with no one to hold your hand. It's going to hurt deeply. But let me remind you of something. The only way out is through surrender. No one is coming to save you, because this journey is yours and yours alone. And as painful as it is, there's a power in that. The moment you take full responsibility for your awakening, you'll realize that you've always had the strength to face your shadows and emerge on the other side. The price of awakening is steep, no doubt about it. But what you gain is priceless. Everything in life comes with a price, and your spiritual awakening is no exception. If you want to experience real awakening, the kind that transforms you at your core and brings lasting inner peace, you have to do it the hard way. This isn't something that's going to happen while you're sitting comfortably, avoiding pain and clinging to what's familiar. Growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone. Comfort equals stagnation, and stagnation means no progress, no breakthroughs, no awakening. I've heard claims from people saying they awaken without ego death or some form of a trigger, without the chaos, the loss, or the pain. But let me tell you, that's a lie. Awakening doesn't come wrapped in ribbons, delivered gently to your doorstep. If someone does have a glimpse of awakening in a state of comfort, it won't last. The ego will pull them back because there hasn't been enough struggle or fire to burn through their illusions. Comfort doesn't prepare you for the depth of this journey. It keeps you locked in the surface. Every awakening, real and sustainable awakening, is triggered by something: a life crisis, a deep loss, or an internal collapse. Ask any spiritual master, and they will tell you the same thing. None of them got to where they are without going through the hard way. They all faced their shadows, their fears, and their resistance head on. There are no shortcuts, no quick fixes, and no bypassing the pain. The path to awakening is forged in the flames of discomfort and transformation, and that's what makes it real. So, if you're going through this right now, keep going. You're not crazy. You're awakening. This journey isn't for the faint of heart, but trust me, it's worth every step. Because the reward on the other side is everything you've been longing for: the freedom to truly be. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of awakening, and I hope you found value watching this video. Stay present, stay mindful. See you next, and peace out.